Salute Knicks Nation. The streets are buzzing in the Mecca as the Knicks pull out their fourth straight win, beating down the Charlotte Hornets, man. After a slow start, the Knicks got in their groove. JB answered the call early, and the New York Knicks never looked back, man. Karl-Anthony Towns continues to be on a tear, slamming and jamming, man. But OG Anunoby was special in this one. Defensively, the Knicks got right. Mikal Bridges was hot as well. Wingstop was active tonight as the Knicks continue streaking, baby. Let's break this thing down with the best chat in the biz. Salute Knicks Nation. Welcome in to the post-game live. Lots to talk about with this one. With the Knicks winning 4 in a row now. Number 1 offense in the league. We're 6th in net rating. And the defense is creeping better. It's creeping up to 21 in the league now. But obviously we've got the softer schedule, that we've had this season so far recently. December, we're going to talk about that because the Knicks got to capitalize. This is the weakest schedule for the Knicks, in December, and the second weakest schedule in the entire NBA in December for the New York Knicks. So let's capitalize. Let's keep it rolling, fam. But shout out to the chat. Buzzer Beater, I see you. Delmar, what's up? Hit 'em up. Great win. The Garden was full of energy, man, as they celebrate Garden of Dreams tonight. And, from the anthem right off till, right through to the second quarter when the Knicks, basically answered the call and got up. Starting from the beginning of the game, right? They couldn't find their rhythm. I think offensively, Brandon Miller was in his bag like he usually is. And it's tricky, when you play these teams like 4 times early in the season, that you could tell that the Hornets were trying a lot harder tonight. They were setting good screens and the Knicks defense was tested. But the Knicks got hot and also our defense picked up tonight. So let's take a look at the numbers and give out the game balls tonight, guys. Salute Paula and Daniel. Let's get it. No update on Brunson yet. Hit him up. So yeah, Brunson was resting late. We don't know if there's anything to it, but it didn't look anything serious. I think he was just resting. So we'll keep you updated when the news comes through tonight, guys. As you see the box score, man, how pretty is that? So balanced. We saw Cat in his bag jamming this one, and he's playing at a special level right now. But let's talk about these minutes as well, because Mikal Bridges didn't sit until the final 2 minutes of the ball game. So what was up with that with Tibbs tonight playing Bridges? I know he was impressive, but he played a lot. He played too much tonight, did Bridges. But 7 of 15, that was nice. But Cat 9 of 15, excellent. OG 10 of 18, tearing it up. 3 of 4 from distance as well. But I mentioned the captain, man, early in the first quarter. He was the guy that was, getting it started. So I'm going to give out 2 game balls tonight. Brunson, right, early, got the Knicks going. And OG Anunoby, another enormous 2-way game, right? OG Leonard, right? Can we get a thumbs up for that, guys? What do you think about OG's this season, man? He's been playing special. Paula says OG's night. The crowd was serenading him as well. It's been brewing, but obviously he got a lot of love tonight from the crowd. Did OG. He was playing volleyball in this particular situation, man. 2 blocks in multiple sequences, right? Joining us in the crowd. And he's just enjoying himself, man. He's playing great basketball right now. And you see the chemistry building with this ball club. And yeah, Paula, OG definitely deserves the game ball tonight. And I'm going to give one to him and also one to JB. Wall Street Dame says, we are the New York Knicks. We are, indeed. Buzzer Beater says 2 winners tonight, the Knicks and the Garden of Dreams. Yep, you already know what it is. Great comment with that one. We saw legends in the building as well. Tim Thomas. We saw J.R. Smith, Raymond Felton, Marcus Camby. Everyone want to come back to the Garden when it's buzzing right now. By the way, did I say the final score? 125 to 101 as well. So I'm that hyped that I didn't say the final score, but 125 to 101. And another night where the Knicks just score above 120. Obviously, this is an inferior opponent, but we're really starting to play to our potential against inferior opponents. And I'm really not going to dwell on the slow start because, obviously when you've been putting the beat down on a lot of these teams, right, they want to come out with a little bit more physicality, and that's exactly what Charlotte did. So got to give them some credit. I think Charlotte started this ball game pretty strong, right? But it was the New York Knicks that basically, put their foot on the gas and took control early. And yeah, we almost had a historic night with every single starter almost scoring above 20. Would have only been the fifth time in NBA history, in Knicks history, I think, according to the call. But Hart finished with 18 points, continues to be a flamethrower. Huge story from Hart, 4 of 6 from distance, guys, with 10 bounds, 6 assists, and only 1 turnover as well, guys. And we only had 9 turnovers as a team. So shout out to the whole squad as we bring up the team stats. 50 rebounds, so we out-rebounded them. Fast break points, I'm loving that. 22 fast break points, playing faster. And I think Hart is a bigger proponent of that, guys. He doesn't really look for the point guard. When he gets the rebound, it's go, man. Turn on the jets and get up the court for an easy bucket, and he'll find you as well. So yeah, I like the only 9 turnovers, and obviously the assist man 29 as well. So the offense is flowing, man. It's flowing like water, man. First in the league, 6th in net rating, 21st in defense, guys. Also, big story from the night, like Paula says in the chat. I see you guys buzzing. Precious Achiuwa, congratulations and welcome back on your rehabilitation, and you are now in the rotation, fam. Precious Achiuwa gave the Knicks some good energy. We did get to see some multiple big lineup for the first time this season, right, as we anticipated when it came to Precious Achiuwa, and he delivered, fam. As we see Tom Thibodeau, man, give us the almighty smile, man, that we haven't seen in a minute, possibly ever. Get you someone that look like Tibbs looks at Josh Hart, man. Get you someone that's going to look at you like Tibbs looks at Josh Hart. In that one, man. A picture says 1,000 words right now, and the Knicks are grooving. 4 games in a row, 6 games above 500 now. We've got extra money to play for next week in Vegas. I mean, what's there not to like about this situation right now, guys? We're going to talk a lot about Karl Anthony Towns because, I mean, everyone said wait for 20 games with Bridges and Towns and the new guys. We are 22 games into the season now. And man, I mean, we won the trade by a landslide right now. Karl Anthony Towns is a first-team All-NBA player. He's playing like an all-star, and his game is going to another level, man, in the Mecca. Shout out to the coaching staff as well. For a recurring trend, it seems that when players get to the Knicks, their game goes to another level. I mean, I'm not going to lie. It happened with so many Knicks. Hart was underappreciated. Hartenstein came to the Knicks, played his best year. Dante DiVincenzo playing the best year when he came to the Knicks. And we're seeing the same thing again right before our eyes with Karl Anthony Towns, fam. So shout out to us, the crowd, the fan base, the city, and the coaching staff as well. Karl Anthony Towns is in his bag right now, playing really physical brand of basketball as well, rebounding the best in the NBA too, guys. So we've got some bona fide all-stars on our hands, man, superstars, and yeah, these guys are showing out. We took care of business tonight, Buzzer. It's impressive. I would have loved the starters to rest earlier, like you were saying in the chat earlier during the game. But I mean, at that point, we'll talk about it later tonight. Tibbs got to really, rest these guys more and use the bench because we've got some pieces. Deuce continues to be excellent. Wall Street Dame says, except for Cam Reddish. Yeah, I think sometimes the lights are too bright for some dudes. Evan Fournier, another one. Hit 'em up says, hopefully we get Cam Payne back as well. Yes. Appreciate that. So Cameron Payne out with a minor elbow injury. I think he's dealing with some inflammation in the elbow, but I don't think it's anything major. hopefully he gets back right soon. But I mean, Deuce is really stepping it up, guys. Troy NYC says Precious showed ability to be explosive. No worries here. Excellent defense. Yeah. Um, a couple of plays where, as we see J.R. Smith here in the Garden salute, haven't seen him in a minute, so glad to see him and hope he's doing well. But yeah, Bridges was excellent tonight, continues to be consistent now on his third good game in a row. But Precious Achiuwa, like Troy said, I noticed he grabbed the rebound, he also pushed the break. And I think it's really special to have another big that can actually handle the basketball as well, right? Because we're going to talk about each Nick in a minute and give out the first grade, but we'll talk a bit about Jericho Sims because he had his moment in this game, gave away a turnover and then didn't come back in the ball game. And it's a recurring theme with Jericho where he's not looking at the basket and he's not putting the ball on the floor or is confident. And Precious Achiuwa can do that. So I think that's going to be a talking point with Chewy taking Sims's minutes. I feel. What do you think, guys? Johnny salute OG the ultimate 3-and-D. Too. And Chance says Precious allowed the Knicks to switch more on defense. Looking forward to seeing that more. Yeah, that's a great call as well. I think, yeah, there's a reason why the fan base has been waiting on Precious and being excited because, yeah, he gives us something different. He's an offensive-minded big man that also, is defensive-minded. Yeah, he plays both sides. So let's pull up the first grade of the evening. We're all buzzing right now. We've got 100 in the chat. Smash that like button, guys. Appreciate you for joining us, and it really helps the channel out. And you're a part of this community as well. So let's get it. Right. Let's talk about, where should we start, man? Let's talk about OG. He gets one of my game balls, and OG Anunoby had one of the garden moments of the season so far with the crowd serenading his name, and rightfully so, man. It's been overdue. He's just been playing the best basketball of his career as well. I mean, that's another New York Knick where he's come to the Mecca, and his game is starting to flesh out now with OG, with less pressure as well, with more options. And so OG, 3-point shooting is been remarkable. It's not just been serviceable, but it's been remarkable. 3 of 4, 75%. You just can't leave him open, man. 10 of 18 from the field, efficient once again. Would have loved him to try to get more free throws. I think that's another part of his game that can grow. Only 2 free throws, but he is getting fouled. He's not getting those calls from the officials. But he's 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and 4 steals, 2 blocks, man. 6 stocks from the wing stop tonight. As we hit on Bridges later. OG, man, what a force defensively. Fast break bucket, got out in transition. Let me pull up that play because that was big time. Yes, this one. Yeah, got out in transition, hand in the passing lane, just special instincts, feline quickness as well. So OG Anunoby, much deserved game ball for me, and basically a flawless game, 25 points plus 18. I mean, those are all-star numbers, guys. Let's call a spade a spade. He's getting this label that he's just a defensive specialist, but that's not correct. OG Anunoby is a two-way king right now. I mean, a lot of players in the league would love to be putting up 25 points seamlessly as well, effortlessly. He's not hijacking the offense. He's not chucking high-volume shots. He's getting 25 points on efficiency with ease as well. So, yeah, he's a two-way force right now. He's OG Anunoby, and he should be an all-star right now. If we end the season right now, or we end the voting, I think OG Anunoby is an all-star level player. I mean, that is stuff in the stat sheet. He's got a game ball to go with it, and he's going to get an A+ to go with that one as well, fam. Dapping up the crowd too. Latoria. So yeah, we didn't hear anything about Brunson yet, unfortunately. So I don't think it's anything serious, but we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see, fam. But we'll bring you up to speed. AP, let's get it. Yeah, we might not be seeing Sims for a little bit more, man. I'm not trying to be negative, but Precious is back, and it's great to have him back. But yeah, Sims will remain, an important squad player for defensive purposes as well. But yeah, Precious can just do so much. What's up, Drayton Jordan? Great to have you with us, and yeah, appreciate you for joining us along, man. Let us know your thoughts on this squad this season. Um, I think we're really starting to click. 14-8, on a slower start to the season, but now we're really getting to the point where I think we all expected us to be at this point now. Maybe 5 to 10 games above 500, putting these teams away. When we needed to as well. And look, ideally, when Precious is back, with more conditioning, and when Mitch is back, we're going to have the luxury of probably resting the starters a little bit more, in these blowout games. But yeah, we'll talk about that when we give Tibbs grade, because I'm going to give my comments on Tibbs. JB's in the building as well. What's up, fam? Yeah, I was a little aggy with our defense in the first quarter as well, but yeah, we picked it up. I always say, guys, this game is like 50% mental, right? A lot of it is mental, where it's like, man, I got to go to work again. We got to beat, play the Charlotte Hornets again. It seems like we've played them 4 times already. It's not exactly like easy to get motivated playing these teams, because we know we're better than them. We know that we're far superior, but I think that explains some of the slow starts. But it is inexcusable, because you've got to come out ready. But I can understand, like, it seems like we've beaten the Charlotte Hornets like 4 times already, including preseason. Right, so as we continue to shout you guys out, let's get to the next New York Knick. He took home another game ball, and it's Jalen Brunson. Just like when Julian said in the chat, the slow start, the Knicks defense wasn't functioning, but Jalen Brunson was keeping this team afloat, right? Like he was last season. It was reminiscent. And I think Brunson was in his bag offensively. And, another Knick that started the season slow offensively, but now he's really on a tear. Jalen Brunson, the 3-point shooting has opened his game up, as well as the rest of the Knicks. 5 of 6 tonight was huge from JB, 83% from distance, and 7 of 8 from the free throw. Gave us 5 assists, 24 points, a team second high, and 22 plus in the box score with just 26 minutes. But of course, the chat is, we're all asking, what's the deal with JB potentially suffering an injury? Nothing's been spoken on it yet. Tibbs has credited the Knicks starting 5 for getting them going and setting the tone in the second half tonight. Right, we've got to be a 48-minute team, says Tibbs. They gave me some stuff that I could look at. Okay, so that's Tibbs, still always trying to improve this squad. Tom Thibodeau, but nothing on JB yet. I think it was just precautionary. So let's keep it moving. But JB's great tonight. Excellent shooting. And he was in his bag, going head-to-head with Brandon Miller, who was hot early. And the Knicks had to buckle down to slow Brandon Miller down, and we did. But yeah, I love Jalen's activity defensively as well. He does get gritty. He fights, he battles. I think he does give up size, obviously, but it doesn't affect his offense, and I think that's key, for me moving forward. So game ball as well, and JB, the captain, is going to get another A+ as well on the season. Let's get it, guys. Leading by example, the captain. We're going to look around the league, AP, as the Cavs look like they're picking up another win. David says, yeah, Cap kept us in it, and the Dogs finished it out. Yeah, amen. Have I heard anything about Mitch's return, Buzzer? Yeah, I did hear Tibbs. Tibbs did give us a little hint, and Tibbs did say, hopefully, at the start of the month. So, yeah, the very start of January. So it may look like we don't have to wait, too much longer into the new year. Once it hits January, I think that is the time to look out for Mitchell Robinson's return. But we should hear things closer to Christmas, But yeah, it looks like rehab's on track for Mitchie as well. The final piece, arguably, for our defense to take that next step. So for anyone missing it, we're 6th in the league in net rating, which is excellent. 1st in the league in offense, and we're 21st in defense. So think about it. If we're already 1st in offense and we're 6th in net rating, If we get that defense up just a bit more from 21st up to, say, I don't know, 15, 12, I mean, we're going to be in the top 3 teams in the NBA. And these wins are just going to continue. And then obviously we're going to get close to, you know, stitching up a three seed, a second seed perhaps. Anything's possible as we get on a hell of a run, man. I could see us killing this month of December as we just take another quick look at December's schedule before we move on to the next grade. I mean, we've got Detroit next, then we're away in Toronto, and then we have Atlanta for the NBA Cup. Hopefully, a couple more games in Vegas, and we win that. And then it's Minnesota, which is probably the only tough game. And then it's the Pelicans, the Raptors again, the Spurs, the Magic, Washington, and Washington. So I'm seeing a lot of food right there, guys. You know, I'm seeing a lot of food. Let us know your thoughts on that one. As the schedule finally is getting kind for the New York Knicks. We've got to take advantage. If Brunson has to miss any time, AP, you know, Deuce McBride is going to definitely take that starting spot, and he's scoring at a really high rate, shooting the ball well as well. But I do think it's an opportunity for probably Cameron Payne to get a bit more minutes as well, and maybe Tyler Cole to sneak in the back end of the rotation, possibly. But let's see. You know, I'll keep you updated tonight once we hear anything about Brunson. But they usually do some tests as well, so it does take a little bit of time to get confirmation. But Karl Anthony Towns, man, play of the night tonight, took it coast to coast for the and one, and he's playing with attitude. I'm not going to lie, man. Karl Anthony Towns is really enjoying, I think, this new environment, the spotlight, and the responsibility, because, you know, I'm not meaning this is a shot to Anthony Edwards, but Anthony Edwards is purely an offensive-minded kind of player. And I think Jalen Brunson, you know, especially when he's dishing the way he is, you know, life is easier for Cat, I'm going to say. Playing next to another co-star where, you know, you don't have to just stand there while, you know, where they go isolation, you know, and JB's finding Cat easier buckets as well. So I think Cat's going to really enjoy, you know, this championship run with this team, you know, and the role that he has. You know, the 3-point attempts are getting up, the driving lanes are opening up. Yeah, it's just a case of just making the right read, like Tibbs says. You know, make the right play. You know, if there's 2 guys on you, a teammate is open, kick it to them. If they're, you know, giving you one-on-one coverage, abuse them, take advantage, and take it to the cup. And that's what Cat is doing. He's not settling for the threes. 2 of 5 from distance, 9 of 15, 16 rebounds, guys. The leading rebounder in the league, your Karl Anthony Towns. 2 assists, 2 blocks, 27 points on a plus 25, man. Team high from the bodega with that, man. Those are some crazy numbers right there, man. 9 of 15. And it just looks easy. I'm not going to lie. Like, he doesn't really have to do anything, you know, major out there. You know, they just don't have a matchup for that kind of guy, right? So with that said, let's pull up Cat's grade tonight, man. He could easily get a game ball as well, but he's going to get another A+ too. So it's a clean sweep of A+ so far from the Knicks' big 3. Are you guys feeling it? Wall Street says it looks like a hot December, no doubt. Yeah, these opponents are easy at the moment, AP, but we're taking care of business. London says it feels and it shows that this locker room is great to be in. Yeah, you know, you see OG smiling. He hardly ever shows that emotion. You see Tibbs smiling now as well. And look, I'm going to say this right now. I think the best is yet to come. I think we're not even seeing this team close to its ceiling yet. You know, and obviously we might even make a couple of, bench upgrades. We might, you know, supplement our bench more as well, defensively. But right now the starting 5 is alive, man. And I can't wait to talk about Josh Hart and Bridges in a minute, because those guys are really feeding off of each other tonight. You could see the chemistry that Villanova chemistry come to play. Johnny says Precious entrance helped turn the game around, plus 11 in just 12 minutes. Big time. Yeah, big time player, Precious Achiuwa. And yeah, I really want to see more of him next to Cat as well. I think that's going to relieve Cat of some defensive duties, or over reliance on the big man to protect the cup. Yeah, I mean, last words on Cat before you move on to the next guy. Where I think we can get better is obviously, when he's shooting the three ball like he is, but he's taking more shots, and then he's driving and getting the foul calls. I think that's going to be key. One thing I'll continue to harp on, guys, is that the New York Knicks have the best offense in the NBA, but we're second last in free throws awarded. So does that sound crazy to you? That sounds crazy to me. I know we haven't been getting a great whistle this season, but normally the best offense in the league should be getting more free throws. It's tough to see a team that's best in the league in offense and second last in free throws awarded. So once we start getting a better whistle, our offense will be unstoppable. The closest thing to unstoppable, and Cat got 9 free throws tonight. If he's aggressive, he could average 15 free throws. I mean, Joel Embiid does it. He's a guy that should be getting the same respect, the same level, the same whistle on that. Paula says Cat gets an A, B fits, Hart A+, Buzzer Cat A++, game ball, an extra plus is for that dunk. On fire, fam. No doubt about it. Yeah, you guys are on fire right now. Now let's switch over to the Lionheart, and then we'll finish with Bridges and Tibbs with the starters and look ahead, give you guys some updates around the league, and continue to shout you guys out. Smash that like button and welcome in if you're new. Great to have you with us on the post game. Now, Hart, man, Josh Hart was everywhere in this one. It was just another night where he's just focused. He's in the game. He's never he's never caught lacking in terms of, losing his man. His focus is always there. 6 of 9 from the field, 4 of 6 from distance, though, is the big story, right? I've seen a statistic where Josh Hart is 40% on the season now, which is incredible. And I know he's the focus of a lot of team scouting report in terms of, do they leave him wide open? Out of all the starters on the Knicks, is Hart the guy that you cheat off right now? But they're doing that, and we're making them pay, which is a real credit to Hart's work. He's put in the work on the shot. He's practicing that 3-point shot, and it's paying off for us and for him. 40% from the field from three is incredible for a guy who's not known as a shooter, and that's what's really helping our offense get to that next level, guys. It really is. So yeah, I see you guys talking about the referees as well. You guys agree? Yeah, Doug Fresh says we don't get fouls. We don't get the foul calls. We should win. Yep. Same with Wall Street Dame as well. I think, yeah, you got to make the refs call them sometimes. You just got to be aggressive and look for the contact as well. But that's something that Hart does, and I really like his game. I think Hart's a throwback. He's a guy who could play in any era, And talking about a guy, this is a play where he found Mikal Bridges. I know the jump pass is a little crazy sometimes, but he does it again. But he finds his man, his pinpoint, and he finds Bridges cutting. The thing that allows Hart to be a good facilitator is he keeps his head up as well. If you guys see here, I'm going to pause it. Let me pause that and bring it up on the big screen. See Hart, here he got the rebound and he's pushed the break. He said, get up the court, I'll find you. But here his head is up, right? He's not looking at his defender. He's not just looking at the ground. He's looking at where everyone is right now. And look at his peripheral vision, because Mikal Bridges ain't even crossed the halfway court yet, right? He ain't even crossed halfway. And I'm going to press play right now. What's he thinking right now? He leaves his feet right now. But Mikal Bridges, one half of that Villanova connection, knows what he's going to do, right? And Precious sets the good pick. He's rolling as well. So he's got two options. You can throw it to Precious, who's rolling to the cup, or Bridges, who cuts at the right time. Hart checks the pass, and he sees Bridges on the corner of his eye as well, because he got his head up, and he's understanding where the players like to be as well. So that's really special for the team chemistry as well. And Hart finished with 6 assists tonight, 10 rebounds, 18 points, plus 17 as well. Another night close to a triple double for the Lion Hart. So let's dial up his grade right now, man. I can't fault any part of his game right now. I know he's a player that's probably saving 20% for the postseason. I think when Hart plays in the postseason, you see another level. You see an animal come out, a beast, a dog, whenever Hart reaches the playoffs. And we all see it. I think he's tenacious with the rebounding as well. I mean, with that score line, that stat line, right, he can't get anything else but an A+ for me, for Hart. Stuffing the stat sheet. London says best connector in the league. That's a nice one, man. Paula says Josh Hart just does everything. He's an A+ from me. What more can you say? You said it. What more can you say? I guess, yeah, one of the best compliments I could give is what I said earlier, is about he could play in any era. He's a throwback kind of player. You guys remember Charles Barkley, who was the same height, 6'4", 6'5". Charles Barkley was obviously built more sturdy as a power forward, but the kind of play that Charles Barkley did, undersized in the paint, rebounding, played above his size, that's the kind of guy that Hart is as well. He plays with a big heart, and he's I guess he's got more offensive skill as well, because he can facilitate, he can shoot it now as well. I mean, that contract is looking like a steal as well. You don't need to look very further across other NBA rosters and salaries to look at other players on 17 million, 18 million, and a lot of them are just like, they're role players, some of them, but some of them don't play two-way. They're just a 3-point specialist, or they're just a player on one side of the floor. Hart gives you everything. Also, you could speak to the level of teammate that Josh Hart is, guys, as we pivot to Mikal Bridges now. And the point I'm going to make is, remember after the last Charlotte game, when Bridges was at an all-time low in terms of confidence and chemistry. Do you remember which New York Knick it was that spoke to the media and talked about getting Mikal Bridges going, and talking about making him more comfortable as a leader? That was Josh Hart. And now we fast forward 4 games later. Bridges is on the best stretch of his Knicks career, and Josh Hart is also a part of that right now. And Josh Hart's an exceptional teammate, and he's definitely got Bridges going with the passing game as well. But Mikal Bridges himself has been a big part of that, guys. I've seen more energy. I've seen better, defensive instincts in terms of passing lanes, switching. I think they were definitely more connected on the pick and roll in this recent stretch. And of course, Bridges is playing better offensively. He's shooting the basketball better. 7 of 15, 2 of 7 from distance, right? Higher volume. Not great from distance tonight, but from the field was good. 7 assists tonight from Mikal. Handled the ball a little bit as well. 3 rebounds, 1 steal, 19 points, and a team high, plus 26 for Mikal Bridges, but played the most minutes with 46 minutes, fam, which is crazy right now. Yeah, that's too much. I don't know if that's Tibbs trying to adjust and give him, more reps, when he's balling out. What do you guys think it could be? Because I think it's too many minutes, right? Yeah, as the chat says, 46 minutes for the Bridge man, and B Fitz has gone with the A- for Mikal. And David says the team's special. Yeah, I think the starting 5, man, it's it's starting to show you, like, when everyone's comfortable with each other and they know what their role is, and they're finding each other as well, and they're in sync defensively. I think, yeah, we're seeing it now, guys. Top five team in the league, top six net rating. Although I think we're going to creep into the top five any minute now. Number one in offense, 21st in defense, right? But Bridges has another level that he can get to defensively, right? There's no doubt about it. I think we're not seeing the level of defense that Bridges is capable of. I think you can obviously play more, tougher defensively on the pick and roll, fight over those screens, and make life difficult with his long wingspan. But right now, I mean, I'm just happy that he's turned things around. 4 games running, he's been more consistent since that Phoenix, since the last Charlotte game. And for 7 of 15, that's solid. But yeah, he doesn't need to play any more than 35 minutes, right? Pacome Dadier was, not on the bench tonight, it seems. I think he's with Westchester still. But yeah, I would love to see Pacome Dadier get some backup wing minutes. What do you guys think about that? Troy also agrees. 46 is too much in a blowout game. Not sure what Tibbs was thinking there. I'm going to pull up the grade for Macau and Tibbs, and let's talk about it. Yeah, but I agree with Troy. I think there's got to be a reason. I think one of the reasons Tibbs rolls with the guy longer is, we're killing that matchup, and he's probably worried if he takes that guy out, someone's going to get loose. And it was probably Misic and it was Brandon Miller, because credit to them, they were playing well, tonight. So with that said, I'm going to give Bridges an A for this ball game. Team effort wise, it was a collective tonight, but he's definitely starting to feel more comfortable in this environment, man. We talk about start of the season, 20 games in, 25 now, 22, sorry. This is the point where we're going to start to see the best Mikal Bridges has looked as a Knick, right? Because it does take 15 to 20 games for some of these guys, right? But now they're understanding their tendencies better. Hart and Bridges, tonight, especially tonight, man, the chemistry was excellent for these guys. So, yeah, big salute to our starting five. That's our grades for this evening. A pluses across the board, and Bridges with the A as well. Now let's talk about Tibbs, guys. Thomas Thibodeau, right? His next challenge is to get our defense in the top 10, right? We are cooking with fish grease if our defense can get into the top 10, because we all know offense is number one, net rating 6th, defense 21st, right? Precious Achiuwa is back, so he's got an extra defensive body that can help on the interior as well. And so I think if we buckle down on the perimeter and we really lock in with these wings, and the wing stop was active tonight with the steals and the blocks tonight, fam. 7 steals, 4 blocks, so 11 stocks as a team. I think we get that up to about 15 as a team on the perimeter, and no doubt our defensive rating, I think, is going to climb up. And then obviously we look at the December schedule, a lot of weak teams in the East, and our offense is going to continue to grow. So I think that Tibbs will get our defense, back at least above 15th, right? We've got the personnel to do it, and he needs to help make this thing happen, man, with the right rotations. Cat next to Precious a little, and get Bridges and OG on those wings, right? And try to get Brunson switched out onto the corner guy to help us out there as well. So yeah, with Tibbs tonight, what grade are we going to go for Tibbs? Minutes police, speak your piece on that, because yeah, Bridges 46 minutes was unnecessary. Slower start, but obviously got the team going. So I'm going to give Tibbs a B plus for this one, guys. Salute. What do you guys think? Paul agrees. Tibbs with a B on this one. Jazzman says Knicks moving and grooving. Clyde, I see you. And Johnny says Mr. Tibbs gets the A for turning the game around. Yeah, I like that. You learn a lot about your character. Credit to Charlotte. They came out to play. We didn't early, but we answered the call. David rings in the B, and A minus for B fits, right? Yeah, a lot more things to work on. And with that said, I'm just going to bring up the quotes from Tibbs, and then we'll look at some updates for JB and shout out our bench. Guys, you're rocking with the best chat in the biz. The streets are buzzing. Smash that like button. Tibbs says here, we've got to be a 48-minute team. They gave me some stuff that I could look at. You see, I like that because he's always trying to make this team better. He's always trying to improve. He's never satisfied, right? He says it, and he's never going to be satisfied until we win that championship. So, yeah, so go to work, Tibbs. Get our defense up to top 10. And I like the fact that, Mitchell Robinson is going to be back within hopefully the next, 15 to 30 days. And then Precious back now as well. We're going to get to see what that's all about, right? With options, man, options. We've got wing stop, and we're going to have our rim stop in a minute. But OG Anunoby, one of the game balls tonight. Salute to him, man, for his stocks tonight. What do you guys think about Dyson Daniels' season so far? Is OG up there? I think he is. I think Dyson Daniels having a special season, but I think OG Anunoby offensively is obviously a better player on both sides of the floor, right? So that is big. And speaking of a beast on both sides of the floor, let's talk about our bench now and Deuce McBride getting loose, right? Such a huge part of our team is Deuce. Missed a couple games, but he's definitely not looked back since he came back. 2 of 4 from distance, 4 of 4 from the free throw, 6 assists from Miles McBride, 10 points, plus 13, fam, in just 27 minutes. Well, so another two-way demon is Miles McBride, 6 assists, 10 points, playing solid defense, and the perfect role player as well, next to Hart on this ball club, and knows what the team needs from him. So, Deuce McBride's grade, let's dial that up, fam. No Cam Payne tonight. So that was key for Deuce to take that responsibility of bringing that energy and the shooting off of our bench. I'm going to go B+ for Deuce McBride tonight, fam. He was active and definitely a guy that is ready for the moment if Bronson has to miss any time, right? And with that said, I'm just going to refresh to see if there's been any updates on a JB and what looked to be a possible injury tonight. We got OG with the walk-off interview being shouted out by his crowd. Let's go. Knicks 4 in a row, and we've got a couple of weak teams coming up as well. Knicks taking care of their food in this festive season. Shout out. So yeah, nothing on Brunson yet, guys. I wish I could bring some more clarification or positivity on that front, but it's really nothing until they tell us it's something. That's just the way I'm looking at it. Look, if there's the possibility where Deuce needs to step up, he will. He'll step up and be ready to take those starting minutes, I feel, if Brunson misses a game. But it doesn't appear to be anything major at the minute. So let's move on. Let's talk about the next guy. Jericho Sims and Precious Achiuwa, fam. Obviously no campaign. So that is one of the reasons Bridge played more minutes tonight with that matchup and the shallow bench for the night. And Jericho got 3 minutes. What did you guys see? Because we've given Jericho his flowers recently. He's been playing the most consistent basketball of his career. Defensively, helping out with the paint presence, rebounding really well, just being that deterrent, being vertical and not fouling. But some old habits, continue to die hard with Jericho Sims, and that is that he, had a couple of bad turnovers did Jericho, or one specific sequence with a bad turnover where he left his feet, kind of looked at the rim and then looked away. And that's where the problem starts, you know. I think he was in a perfect position to get downhill. Um, but look, one of the things Tibbs appreciates the most out of Jericho, I think he knows his role. And some players, it's easy to, you know, forget your role on the team and you know, try to do something that your game is not capable of. And I think putting the ball on the floor and, you know, and running and driving to the lane isn't Jericho's strong suit. We know that. But he does need to look at the rim in those instances. He either will get a travel or a turnover, leave his feet. Unfortunately, because Precious got back for him, he didn't get back in the ball game. So it was a quick hook tonight for Jericho Sims. So, I mean, look, Tibbs, that's just what he does. You know, he'll ride you when he needs you when there's an injury, and then the moment he gets the guy that he wants back or that he needs, he'll sometimes pull the minutes from the other guy. So I do think that Jericho Sims might be on a real quick hook right now with Achiuwa back, or he might go back to situational. So, but once again, you know, I say that Precious has been Sims has been consistent recently, and he does deserve the flowers that he was getting. But look, obviously tonight with the you know, the situation, you know, and not getting back in the ball game was a proponent because Precious Achiuwa was back and healthy. He probably would have got back in the ball game. So I'm going to give Sims a C for the night. And now we're going to talk about Chewy. Welcome back, fam. As Buzzer has given Deuce a B+. Deuce was loose. I'm confident he can hold us down at the point guard spot. He's done it before, and yeah, he'll do it again. Amen. Paula gives Sims a D for the night. I can understand that. And B Fitz has gone to C-. And Rogelio says Sims a D as well. Yep. I think, yeah, Sims is that third string. You know, that's the role that he was before the season began. I think, you know, injuries piled up and he got his chance and he took those opportunities. But right now we're getting guys back healthier. And so I think his role will probably go back to being more that third string in this instance. But yeah, he's done his role and he's held us down. So yeah, let's move and talk about Precious Achiuwa because he did some things that we've been waiting to see tonight. Putting the ball on the cup, putting the ball on the deck and getting to the cup, grabbing the rebound, pushing the ball up the court as well. Those things were key for me tonight. Question from David says, are we going to do anything at the trade deadline? You know, I think we will. I don't think it's going to be anything major, but I think we probably will do some kind of transaction, fam. Whether that's trading, you know, a couple of second-round picks and some draft rights guys, you know, like Rokas, you know, James Nagy, could be some end-of-the-bench guys. I think we'll do something to maybe get a piece in that, you know, we think might help us in the playoffs, but I don't think it's going to be anything major, fam. I do think we have most of what we need. Or maybe Landry Shamet comes back and that's it, you know. But I think it's going to depend on how healthy everybody looks at the time, you know. With that said, the health is a huge part of success, right? And getting to a championship, you got to stay healthy. Mitchell Robinson and Precious Achiuwa, they're very unique players that, you know, we just simply can't afford to be without, you know, from time to time. And I think Achiuwa, you saw it tonight, man, with his rebounding, 2 offensive rebounds, 4 total, 1 assist as well. Had a couple turnovers, though. He needs to clean that up. 2 points plus 11, 1 of 4 from the field. But just great to see him back. Precious Achiuwa, you know, his switching, like the chat said earlier, was excellent. I think his length is really underrated. Because, yeah, Precious Achiuwa's got that wingspan that allows him to get into passing lanes and to also protect the rim. So, yeah, look, solid first game back from Precious. I'm going to give him a B-. But great to have him back. And I think, you know, this is going to be the start of something special with this, team more healthy now. And obviously, he's a player that can help relieve the minutes of OG Anunoby. I think that's the big key. That power forward spot, had been lacking because you can't really play Jericho at the power forward based on our previous rotation. Now you've got a real rotation for OG, to to go to the bench. So that is really, really important for me. Um, just as important as his play that he brings on the court. Johnny says Precious had a beautiful pass to OG, and that is not something in Tibbs's repertoire. 100%. Yep. I think there's just a talent level gap. Precious Achiuwa, drafted by Miami, come into the league. Had glimpses in the Raptors in Toronto, and now the New York Knicks. He's playing the best basketball, as we saw last season, of his career, and I think he's got more to give as well. Precious coming back gets a B, says Paula, and Steve says good solid game all around. Yeah, no doubt about it. I think versatility wise is Precious Achiuwa. Switching, rebounding, protecting the hoop as well. He's going to be one half of our rim stop, fam. I know you guys like that. We've got wing stop with Bridges and OG. And then we've got our partnership of rim stop with Precious Achiuwa and Mitchie Robinson, who hopefully gets back real soon, man. I think the start of January is the target date for Mitchell Robinson. But a tandem of Precious and Mitch guarding the rim with Cat shooting threes at the power forward spot, sign me up right now for that, because especially in the pick and roll with Jalen Brunson in the pick and pop is going to be deadly as well. Look, Precious is that versatile guy that at the five that can, like I said, grab the rebound and push the break and tell Cat to get up the court, and be that trailing three. Like Johnny said, the passing game is something that I think is an untapped kind of skill set that Precious can do more of, especially in that short roll when it comes to that. So 11 minutes. Let's look for that to get up. Those minutes are gonna ramp up. But salute to Tibbs for not going crazy with Precious's minutes early. We didn't need to see him more than anything more than that. Tonight. Big Dave, Cameron Payne's got I saw the medical term, but he's basically got an irritation in his elbow, fam. That's just basically the crux of that. It's an elbow injury. It's nothing major. And I think it's probably got some inflammation or swelling that just has to go down. I think they're just being cautious with it. So yeah, that is the elbow injury for Cam. Steve says OG reminds you of Ron Artest with his dogged defense and toughness. That's a good one as well, fam. I'm going to dial that up because Hart, I said, is a throwback kind of player. He could play in the 80s and 90s. I think OG Anunoby is that kind of player that could play in the 80s and 90s as well. Obviously, we know he's not the most durable player, but physically, he gets after it. And he likes the physicality element of the ball, and defending as well. What's up, Mike? Salute. Johnny says it's going to be a block party when Mitch and Precious are in. Maybe not a Huck party though. Yeah, look, Mitch and Precious deserve those minutes early. I think Huck Porty just needs to ball out in practice. Just needs to get after it in the G League, like Daddy, become these hungry lions that, when their time comes, they're ready. Because it'll come. Injuries happen, players move on, trades. The roster gets, shaken up a little sometimes. I think Deuce is the perfect example. You just have to stay ready and work on your game. I remember there was people giving up on Deuce, not because they thought anything less of his game, but they thought that he just wouldn't get an opportunity. There was RJ, there was Quickly, there was Brunson. We were giving Kemba Walker minutes over him. We were giving Quickly his minutes, and he was in the G League, and people thought when is Deuce ever going to get a chance? But he stayed ready. To his credit, and he just got better and better and better. Away from the spotlight. And so when the time comes, you're ready, and that's what's going to impress the coach, I think. Yeah, ball out in the G for Huck Porty. But yeah, he's good insurance to have for this ball club, because don't forget, we're going all the way, baby. This is a championship caliber squad, and you're going to need these guys on the end of the bench that, got to stay ready and got to come in. Now, Matt Ryan, I don't know what the future holds for Matt Ryan, but I do think the easy move is to just push Matt Ryan back to a two-way spot when Landry Shamet gets healthy, or after the trade deadline, you might want to, bring in another buyout guy if it's not Landry Shamet, and you move Matt Ryan to a two-way spot. I think that's a move that we could foresee. Jake Toppin will stay on a two-way. And Huck Porty, he's earned his real roster spot, I think, with his sample size, with his minutes that he took advantage of early in the season. And man, Cameron Payne is a huge part of this squad, rotation wise. A guy that is, a perfect running mate next to Deuce and next to Brunson, because he can defend and he can shoot it. I think we've got more defenders that can switch and can shoot. And Cameron Payne has a really long wingspan, and he's bigger than he looks on screen. He's kind of like almost 6'4", 6'3", 6'4" is Cam Payne, with a bigger wingspan. So yeah, the Knicks got some defenders, man. So let's move on now. Let's talk about this road ahead and the standings, because the New York Knicks are on a roll, baby. As I refresh, and they move to 14-8, right? And I know there's been some calculations Buzzer Beater put earlier in the chat, so I'm going to bring this up from Buzzer Beater. Salute to him for putting this up here. We're at a 0.619 win percentage right now, which has moved up to 0.636 now, fam. We have to get up to 0.672 for the rest of the season, 41 games out of 61, to beat the Vegas prediction of 53.5. So great to break it down like that. Kind of like, I know the players will be focused on game at a time, but yeah, you look at this schedule and you kind of think, yeah, it's a point where we'll look back and we'll say, yeah, the Knicks got going in December, man. I think that's the kind of month we'll look back. We'll look back and I'm like, we won the NBA Cup, possibly hang a little banner in the garden, a little Vegas chip, some extra 500 grand, and then we got going. We got right in December as well, and then hopefully we get Mitchell Robinson back to start the new year, man. And then we just continue on from there, man. Cavaliers picked up a win tonight, so they're holding strong at the number one spot in the East. The Boston Celtics at 18-4 hold on to the second spot, and we're basically, we're almost tied with Magic. They've basically played 2 more games. That's all it is. So I think the New York Knicks, it's only a matter of time before we get the Magic. We catch them. And then the Bucks are starting to make a little bit of ground off the incompetence of the Pacers and some of these other clubs, the Heat. So the Bucks, shout out to them for putting together a little run. Now they are 11-10 on the season. The Milwaukee Bucks, obviously Giannis has definitely rolled his sleeves up. But then so far out of the screen, we've got the Philadelphia 76ers in second last. The Hornets, the Raptors, and the Wiz, man. And our next opponent, the Detroit Pistons, coming in at number 11 at 9-15. Playing better basketball, but still an inferior opponent. So let's take a look at the scores from the night. Cavs beat the Nuggets. That was a blowout, man. Man, impressive win, but the Nuggets aren't what they used to be. The Pelicans, close win over the Suns. That's a huge win for them. The Bulls get a win over the Spurs. We've got the Rockets and the Warriors locked up at 40 apiece. In the second, the Grizzlies continue to go strong. Now, let me comment on the Grizzlies, because the New York Knicks currently have the second round draft pick of the Memphis Grizzlies. So they're currently in the 4th spot, or the 3rd spot out west. 4th, yep. So that means basically if we're picking today, the draft is today, the New York Knicks will be picking somewhere in the 50s, probably 55, 56, around that range with the record of the Grizzlies, because we have their 2nd round pick. If the Grizzlies were to slide, that pick could end up in the 40s. And I think it's significant, you know, for a team with no other draft picks this season. You know, we're looking for trade chips. We're looking for maybe adding another cheaper talent on the roster. You know, the Knicks seem to hit really well with these 2nd rounders, with Huck Porty, Tyler Kolek, Mitchell Robinson, Deuce McBride. We've still got the draft rights of Rokas, and I've got the draft rights of James Nagy from the Karl Anthony Towns trade as well. I'm going to do a little video on James Nagy. Yeah, because he's a guy that I think the Knicks could bring over next year as a real rim runner, a real rim protector as well, cooking, or we could use him as a trade chip. But yeah, for those that don't know, our only draft pick this year, outside of the protected Washington pick, which is not going to convey, is the 2nd rounder of the Memphis Grizzlies. So I'm hoping that they slide a little bit so we can get a nice little 2nd round pick in the 40s. But if it is in the 50s, we might just get ourselves another little Huck Porty pickup. Johnny says, I'd rather see Pac-Man get all Matt Ryan's minutes. Yeah, you and me both. I think it's really important that a guy like a Dadier gets, you know, some opportunities, because he's shown he can be an NBA level defender early, you know, in his career. So yeah, I hope so. But if not, G League, you know, continue to play. I think being on the bench doesn't do any good for him. Big Dave, hit that like button. Appreciate you. David says, man, Washington are trash. Yeah, no doubt about it, man. They're all in on Cooper Flag. Mike says, if OG starts adding a little more aggressive swagger to his personality and embrace that defensive menace role, I feel like that mental intimidation would take his defense to a new level. Yeah, that's a great way to look at it, man. I think what I'm seeing him a bit more of a dog offensively. You know, he's really hunting his shots, and he's really putting the ball on the deck, you know, and getting to his spots in the half court. Now, we all know that, you know, OG is a demon in the open court, but when it comes to the half court, he's a player who can, you know, really, you know, create. He can create. He's got a little step back. I like that little one where he pushes the opponent off and then he gets separation and he shoots the little the fade away. So yeah, that is really important. But yeah, slow and steady. And I think offensively, you know, this team is really starting to groove right now. You know, best in the league, and it's not even you know, January yet. We've got some options. We've got pieces on its way. Karl Anthony Towns, man, we won the trade by a landslide. Now, there's New York Knicks are 14-8 tonight. We're buzzing with 4 in a row. We've got the NBA Cup next week as well, and we've got the Pistons on Saturday night. Knicks, guys, will be live post-game after the Pistons game next up, guys, and we'll make it 5 in a row. Remember, we haven't got to 5 in a row yet. We were going to, but then we lost. After we beat Phoenix, we had that letdown in Utah. That would have been our 5th game in a row. Right now, we have the chance to do it all again. Guys, shout out to the chat. You guys brought the energy tonight. Shout out Replay Squad as well. Festive blessings to everyone. Hope you're doing well and your family as well. And let's get it on the next one, Saturday night against Detroit. Let's get it. Knicks on fire right now. Peace.